Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
I saw what I think I saw on that opening play.
I'd probably bet you did. They were moving a couple guys around trying to gain an extra body on that side of the line, and
they've actually waved it off. The officials, there is no, is that still a flag back there at the 32-yard line? It doesn't.
Or an autumn leaf.
I saw a flag get thrown, but they may have picked that up. So now the officials here on play number 2, before that happens, are still discussing. Now they've got the ball spotted across the 45, which was the line to gain on that first play, but the down marker is still shy of the 45. So here's the indication. Offside defense. All right, so that was against the Governors. Huron will take the result of the play, and they'll get a 10-yard pickup out across the 45-yard line for quarterback Colton McNeil. And I'm 0 for 1 in my officiating from a bird's eye view tonight. Near hash mark, McNeil will send a man in motion, and now Huron hits the wing on the left side. Did get a flinching start this time, Holton Haig.
I think you also saw the center move quite a bit. He bobbed up and down a little bit with that ball. Not sure if he moved it or not, but a little false start on the offense.
So Huron got 10 on their first play, but they'll back up 5 this time, and it'll be 1st and 15, just ahead of the 40-yard line. Tigers 3-3. They kind of raised a lot of eyebrows right away in week 1. They were trailing the T-Area Titans 27-14, got a couple of fourth-quarter touchdowns to pull within 1 at 27-26. They went for 2, didn't make it, but would have really been an eye-opening victory, to say the least. And they've been able to pick that one up. Another quarterback keeper this time is McNeil, and a decent surge. Get about 3 yards to the 43. Lucas Chamberlain leading the charge.
Yeah, you're seeing him motion that wing in, trying to get that extra blocker there for the quarterback, running it with him with a little running back kind of pushing the pile a little bit, and on that one we got good penetration and got him stopped.
All right, so 2nd down and a long 12 now, just underway. First minute gone by here, quarter number 1. Video, we believe, is up and going, so glad to have you, video and audio, on your official home of the Governors, River 92.7. An option pitch to the short side, near side. Cashton Caudell gets up across the 45 to the 50-yard line, just across into Pierre territory. Still going to be about 3rd and 5 from there.
Yeah, good job by Grayson Schutzel there taking the quarterback, because you want to get first threat and make him pitch that ball. He pitched it, and we just didn't have the extra defender out there on the edge to, pick up the pitch guy.
Be it about an 8-yard pickup now. 3rd down and 5. Wideouts both ways. 2 each side, and 1 on the wing left side. McNeil fires out far side, and it's caught to the 40, far side 30, 20, 10, 5, and Carson Stoser will run the ball carrier out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Spencer Eastland took a shot at picking this ball off. It looks like, I believe it's Colby Hofer, number 22, or is it 23, Gavin Moding? It's 22, Hofer.
Not exactly the first drive that the Governors wanted to have coming out of the gates. Wanted to, establish themselves on defense, and right now they've given up a few run plays and then a big pass play where Eastland jumped the route, and sometimes when you jump it, you don't get the result you want.
So Colton McNeil on 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Starts up the gut and then comes back around and over the right guard. He'll only get a yard, and the Governor defense stands their ground so far. But it'll be 2nd down and 2 from the 2.
And maybe a lot more offense out of this Huron team. You think 2 weeks ago when they only scored 14 against a Sturgis team, that, maybe our guys were a little bit overconfident coming out here, just thinking that they were just going to show up and stop them, and Huron's proven that is not the case.
Twins in the backfield with McNeil. He takes the shotgun snap, wanted an option pitch, and he is wrapped up and wrestled down by Lucas Chamberlain.
That would be a solid mat return. If not a duck in freestyle, you could give him 5 for those feet getting over top the head. Sorry.
Save it for the winter time, Coach. Just kidding. 9:40 to go, and a big play there defensively for the Pierre Governors. And it's a guy who's been doing it all season long. Lucas Chamberlain's been making big tackles for losses. I think he and if you look at Emmett Anderson, who maybe we expect big things from tonight as well, those guys have been registering TFLs all season long. This is a big one. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line. Huron going to have to hurry a bit. Now it's Caudell, and he'll go right up the gut in more of a Wildcat set. Titan Winkler leading the charge here, and the Tigers will get nothing. E.J. Bucci also in on the stop.
And Huron's offensive line there did not pick up the blitz. You saw Lucas Chamberlain kind of come up, and the guard stepped down to him, and they left E.J. Bucci wide open for that TFL. And you know, this week's kind of nice to see Lucas back on the inside. He played on the outside last week to try and keep Brandon in the middle, and keep them in the middle, and well, they kept in the middle for sure.
Big rushing attempt last week. 4th down and goal, and the pass is batted down here by Emmett Anderson off the right side of the defensive line. So a 46-yard pass that got Huron 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. It's a 4-down stop, and the Governors will turn away the Tigers on downs. Incomplete pass, and Pierre will have it in their first possession. Even though they're starting deep in their own territory, they'll take it as this game remains tied at 0-0.
Fantastic 4-down stand there for the Governor defense after giving up that big play and kind of really making a whole lot of people in this stadium hold their breath. They definitely came through in the clutch.
Here's Brock Mosier, first carry, first down play, first offensive play for the Governors tonight, and a bounce out to the right side. Was not able to turn the corner. Good pursuit by the Huron defense, and Caudell, who plays both ways, leading the charge. Couple here from Mosier. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 9-yard line. Governors are in black on black tonight with the green numbers. Black jerseys, black pants, green helmets, I should say, white numbers and green trim. Option left. Mosier bobbles the pitch, but he hauls it in and then gets up ahead of the 10-yard line, wrapped up by Holden Haig. And he'll be brought down after a gain of maybe 3. They'll spot him to the 13, and let's call it 4. And, Coach, you noticed earlier Holden Haig has a club on his arm.
Yeah, he's a very good player, and I knew that about 2 weeks ago. He broke his thumb and I think had pins and stuff put in it, so you're going to see that. I mean, he's playing with one hand, the other hand is clubbed, and he's still going to give it everything he's got. He's a really good player, and it's a senior season, so glad to see him finally back on the field tonight.
Huron encroaches on the hard snap count, the clap by Cade Kaiser, so 3rd down and less than 5 will turn into a 1st down for the Governors up to the 18-yard line. So the Tigers, who threatened on their opening possession, were turned away, turning it over on downs. The Governors will try to capitalize, but they've got a long field to play on. But a fresh set of downs up to the 18-yard line. Kaiser, shotgun snap. Here comes Trey Lewis. Inside, outside, but a flag is thrown. And back to the inside. He's up across the 25 to the 30, 31, where he is brought down. But the flag is likely going to negate this. What would have been about a 13-yard scamper.
Yeah, that flag was probably 8-9 yards downfield from the looks of it, where he threw that ball and where the guy might have been. And it looks like they're going to spot this off even only 2 yards. And yeah, not a good penalty that you want to have after a run like that.
The spot of the foul was at the 20, and they mark it back from there 10 yards back to the 10. So the Governors essentially lose 8 yards on this play. We'll give Lewis 2 yards positive, but 10 yards penalty will mark the Governors back to 1st down and 18 here. 7:20 to go, quarter number 1, no score yet. Pitch pass here, in motion goes Mosier, turning the corner. He's got the 15 to the 20 and then tripped up and looked like he might have had an opportunity to weave through the traffic and pick up a bigger gain, but he's back to the 18-yard line. That'll be an 8-yard pickup, and that will be a pass on one of those little pitch passes for the Govs.
In a new formation that you're seeing, or at least a different personnel set, when you're seeing both Mosier and Lewis out there, typically it's one and not the other, and you're seeing what maybe they can both do when they're out there at the same time with a little bit different skill set.
Up the far hash mark here, Lewis with a handoff, and again, kind of makes himself skinny to get some extra yardage across the 25 to the 27. That's a gain of 9, and the Governors have it 3rd down and 1 to go here. 6:25 left, first quarter, first offensive possession for the Governors after the Tigers threatened but could not score. Fake the pitch. Lewis, inside handoff, 1st down and more. Bounces off of a man up ahead of the 30. And then met and spilled at the 32-yard line.
And you're seeing Coach Steve Steele set that up. You know, you take Brock Mosier on the exact same motion and play, heading to the right, and then you go ahead and run the same set with a little bit of motion to the left, and you get those guys to take one extra step, you know, frees Trey up for about 4 to 5.
3 receivers left to the far side, or the near side, but Kaiser's going to go far side and the short side as he'll keep it himself, running behind Jet Zable, who was lined up as a tight end on the wing right side. Up across the 35, they'll spot him at the 38. 6 here on first down for Kaiser, his first quarterback keeper. And the Governors with a good gain on first down, setting up second and manageable. 2nd down and 4. First time this season we've seen players sporting the pink. It's October now, and as everybody well aware, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you'll see the Governors with a bunch of pink on. Not seeing a lot of pink for Huron, but they did wear a lot of pink in their warm-up wardrobe here tonight. Mosier with a quick pass, near side, spins 35 to the 40, and he'll have a first down brought down out in front of us. Caudle is there, and also 32 Holden Haig. 7 yards here to Mosier.
Yeah, just a fun offensive set that you're seeing here. You got both your tight ends here now on the left side. You got your receiving set up there to the right. So it's, you want to slide over and play that run, or you want to go try and lock those receivers down. You got to pick your poison, and that's kind of what the Governors are doing, is just figuring out where the numbers are and distributing adjust.
Kaiser following those tight ends on the quarterback keeper with 5 just shy of the 50-yard line. Kaiser's second carry has 11 yards. Second and a long 5 here. Jet Zable, who was hobbled all week long last week against Brandon Valley, got up and was favoring that bum ankle from a week ago, but he's not coming out at all. And the cadence is missed here, I think, by the Governors. The snap came a little bit late as far as what Kaiser was expecting, and the Governors are going to mark themselves back 5 yards here.
Yeah, you know, that leg injury looked a little bit odd probably on camera and from even the stands last week. When you saw Jet hobbling around, you're thinking, oh, maybe it was an ankle or whatever, but from my understanding, he took a helmet to the shin really early in the game, and you know, one of those deep bruises like that is just, it's going to nag and nag the whole time, but he definitely played through it, and 2 touchdowns showed.
2nd and 10 after the penalty marked off. Quick hitter to Brock Mosier on the far side. He's hit immediately. He'll get the 5 yards back that the Govs lost on the penalty, but Huron defensively, they're giving a little bit, but they're really, I think, playing quite well. They're the Governors back to the 50-yard line. 3 times Kaiser has thrown. 3 times have been hookups with Brock Mosier, but 3rd and 5 and a big play here at midfield. 4:35 to go. We're in the first, and still no score. Governors with 2 receivers left. 1 to the far side is Ty and Bus. All alone, plenty of time. Kaiser over the middle has Zable right there inside the Tiger 40-yard line. He is ruled down and then lost the football.
Yeah, ball, you know, cannot be fumbled once you've hit the ground, especially in a high school football where the ground, and I mean, as soon as you hit it, it's done. You don't have to be touched or anything like that. The ground cannot cause a fumble.
So Jet Zable, who comes into this game 6 catches shy of Jack Merquan's all-time receiving mark of 123 in Governor football history. He's also tied in the touchdown tally with Jack Merquan as of last week. Here's Lewis on 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line. He falls ahead to the 33 as Gavin Moding brings him down for a gain of 5, and the Governors are starting to get pretty decent chunks here, especially on first down.
You're definitely seeing patience. You're seeing a pretty methodical drive here. Even though we've had a few penalties, we've been able to, you know, get those yards back and kind of get them back in some pretty good bunches.
Play action, roll out right. There's Cooper Terwilliger in the vicinity of the 30-yard line on the far side at the numbers, but I think he's brought down after a hit at the 31. So a somewhat short gain, which would be only 2. C.J. Gainey coming in to help finish him off.
It's still so fun to see Cooper out there as a freshman playing at this level. You've also seen Shufflebein already out there yet tonight. Just to be able to see 2 freshmen play in AA football is kind of an amazing feat for them, and they've definitely risen to the occasion, and ultimately they belong.
Now a ball comes out as Lewis was heading up the middle of the field. He spun backwards, and Huron seems to be celebrating as Lewis falls at the 25-yard line. No indication yet. They're going to spot it at the 26, and Trey Lewis may have caught a break here. He'll get 5 for a first down. But Huron going to be disappointed that they're not getting the football this time. Governors with a long, sustained drive that started all the way back at their own 7-yard line after turning the Tigers over on downs in the red zone in a goal-to-go situation. Under 3 minutes to play. Option to the right. Kaiser is not able to pitch, and now he loses it, but has to fall back on it. This will be a tackle for a loss.
And definitely a really good relationship, you know, by both those linebackers. That's exactly what you have to do. You've got to have the guy there for the pitch back. You've got to have the guy there for the quarterback. And Huron had both those guys, and they just kind of held their own. They didn't bite down on anything. They did a fantastic job with that play.
That's a loss of 2 for Kaiser. The Tigers, in that case, Coach, they covered up both opportunities or both options on that option. They had the quarterback covered and had the running back covered too.
Yeah, defensively, you know, as a coordinator, that's exactly what you want. Everybody's got a duty and assignment on option football, and they did that very well.
2nd and 11. Kaiser's going to keep it up the gut with room. This time 25 to the 20, then met by 2 or 3. Huron Tigers maybe more inside the 15-yard line, spot it down to the 14. He needed the 15 for a first down. That is a 13-yard pickup.
You know, another thing I think you're seeing is Huron definitely is trying to go after the football. They're trying to create turnovers. They're not necessarily, you know, pushing you down or trying to tackle you hard. They're actually trying to keep you up and have the next guy come in there and rip at the football. So, you know, maybe what happened with Trey on the one couple previous, and that was definitely what happened with Kaiser there, is they're holding him up and ripping at that ball.
They've got him at the 13-yard line here, so a gain of 14 for Kaiser. 25 yards on his first 3 carries. And here's a quick one out to Zable on the near side. Actually, I'm going to correct that. He's lost a yard on that fumble play as well. 2nd down and 10 after this incomplete pass. That's the first miss by Kaiser through the air in 6 tries. 5 out of 6 for 34 yards so far. 1:39 with the clock stopping. We're in the first quarter. Huron scared Governor fans getting down to the 3-yard line after a big pass play, but the Governor defense stood their ground, did not allow a score. Now Pierre is in the red zone themselves on their first offensive possession. Kaiser bounces out to the left, has the 10, and then the 5, and he's tripped up. But down to the 3. It'll be 1st and goal this time for the Governors.
And you're going to see Chance Sarda here coming at the fullback spot. Looks like Shufflebind comes off. That's their 1-for-1 exchange. And I would bet you see Sarda leading the way up the hole.
Quite possibly. Sarda's been, I think he's added a lot of character to the offense, and you know, maybe some added attitude as well. Mosier is the deep man behind Kaiser. Clock running inside of 90 seconds to go in a fast-moving first quarter. Mosier is going untouched. Touchdown, Governors. 3 yards out, and that caps a 17-play scoring drive here by the Governors.
Yeah, I could have dissected a lot of what you said about Sarda adding character. He is a character, that's for sure. If you've ever been around him, hung around him, such a fantastic kid, but he's goofy nonetheless, and he definitely led the way. You know, the Governors haven't used a traditional fullback in the last few years, haven't needed to at the Lincoln keynote, so you got to go back to a Gage Gehring, you know, to be able to say, hey, that's a traditional fullback.
New kicker in, we'll tell you why in just a bit. This is Asher Vandenbos, a sophomore. It's a line drive kick, but it is up and good. We'll explain that situation when we come back. But the Governors strike first. They lead the Huron Tigers 7-0 with 1:21 to go in the first quarter. We pause for 30 seconds, and we are back with more Pierre Governor football.
We all want to be happy, but sometimes that doesn't feel possible. But if you have hope, you have everything. Rising Hope Counseling provides high-quality mental health services with locations across South Dakota. Additionally, by providing telehealth, we ensure South Dakota's rural residents have access to high-quality mental health services. Our team lives and works in your communities, and we understand the unique challenges we face. Schedule an appointment by phone or online today. Rising
Welcome
Hope
back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union press box. Owyhee.
Well, opening drives don't get much better than that for the Pierre Governors. 17 plays, 93 yards, taking 7 minutes and 14 seconds off of our first quarter clock. A Brock Mosier 3-yard run, and the PAT made by sophomore kicker Asher Vandenbos. Vandenbos, as he is in on as the kicker. The Governors' normal kickers The two young ladies off the Governor soccer squad, Ryan Berry, the place kicker, Bria Sargent doing kickoffs. Well, they're getting ready for a quarterfinal soccer game tomorrow at Mitchell. The Governors will play at 11 o'clock. And we wish them the best of luck. A kickoff from Zable that stays short. It'll bounce to the far side and out of bounds just in the area of the 20-yard line. So Huron will have it at their own 35, assuming that's what they choose to do.
Yeah, and a kickoff that it almost hung on. You'd think
did.
if we don't have the crown that we have on this field and it kind of took that out of bounds bounce, that thing might have hung on. It was kind of a pretty looking ball. Maybe on turf it sticks and stays, and Governors could get that ball.
Really, I thought there was plenty of room, and I was surprised Huron really was letting it bounce and not really making much of a play on it. But the Tigers will have it at the 35 for the second time in a row. Again, they got down inside the Governor 5 with a long pass play on their first possession, but they'll have to start over here now, trailing 7-0. Cashton Caudle, the tailback, will take the inside handoff, maybe pick up 3 to the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 from there.
Yeah, and you talked about the two kickers that are playing in the quarterfinal game versus Mitchell tomorrow. We wish our girls soccer team the best of luck, and not that we want to have them miss a football game, because we sure will miss them, but if that's the reason, then their playoff rush, we just hope it continues.
They can stay away as long as they want, if that's going to be the case here. Under a minute to go. We're in the first quarter. Caudle again. Little run pass option, so to speak, but quarterback hands off here, and no gain.
Yeah, Emmett absolutely shucking his guard off and met that fullback or running back right there in the hole.
So the Tigers may be in a passing set here coming up. 3rd down and 7. Colton McNeil, the junior quarterback. Brother Cade was a good quarterback, a good throwing quarterback from a couple of years back, if I'm remembering the names correctly.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback. Was a guy that, early in his career just wasn't quite sure exactly what was going to happen. And by the time he was a senior, he threw a really good ball and added some physicality to his game. And I think you'll probably see that from his brother as well.
5 seconds left in the first, and going long, coming down at the Pierre 30-yard line, but this pass is broken up. Carson Stoser out there in coverage, did not see the receiver, but that will be the final play of the first quarter. And on your Gales Gas Service scoreboard, the Governors fight off the Tigers on a goal line stand, and then they go 93 yards and score the first touchdown of the game. It's Pierre 7, Huron nothing. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. As we pause for 60 seconds, we go to the second when we return to Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field. Pierre Governor football is on your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Offering hope.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Family law, estate planning, real estate law, and personal injury. They're able to help you plan and prepare to make matters easy now and into the future. Call 224-8803. May Adam Law Firm in Pierre since 1881.
Back at Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field, our second quarter is underway. Colby Hofer, the punter for the Tigers, as they go 3 and out. Kicks a short but high punt. Trey Lewis takes it without a fair catch. He gets a couple of yards on the return, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Governors at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd see his hand go up and he'd fair catch that with 2 guys right in his grill, but he took it and just went, maybe I'll make him miss, and they did not.
So 1st and 10 for the Governors, switching directions. Now they go west to east. That would be with the wind, although the flag is resting to our left and to the west now, as the winds of the day have mostly died down. Another pitch pass here by Kaiser to Brock Mosier. He turns the corner left side, but Huron covers it up pretty well. He does get across the 45 to the 46, but a gain of only 3.
And that is something that Huron's done, pretty well. They've not really given up a big play so far. They've kept Pierre bottled up for the most part. I mean, they're giving up some yards, but it's definitely been a you have to earn it type of situation.
2nd and 7 now on the far hash mark. Governors in black on black. A lot of the guys with pink socks like Kaiser, like Trey Lewis. He'll take the option pitch. Good cut move, but a great open field tackle here by C.J. Gainey. As Lewis looked like he could have had a lot of yards there, but he is held to just 3. 3rd down and 4 at the Governor 49.
About one guy to miss there, and he made a good play for that tackle. You see Trey break those a lot of the times. He's kind of take it for granted that, hey, he's going to beat this one guy, but, he stayed on his waist and kind of went down and got his elbows tight right around the ankles, and you can't do much with your ankles pinned together.
10:35 to go, second quarter. Another snap, Kaiser again to Lewis, spins and keeps going. Now his legs are continuing to push forward. He's going to be close to a first down. I think he's going to be a half yard short as this one playing right out in front of us. Governors into Huron territory, and they spot right with the nose of the football on the Huron 47-yard line.
Well, one guy spotted it. Now the other guy's moving it backwards, and I think if we'd have had that original spot, we'd have probably gotten a measurement in the chains, but I don't think we have it where this guy on the bottom half here is placing it.
Yeah, and I saw this linesman on this side spotting that the entire way, and I didn't think Trey got it. I thought he was about a half yard short. They're going to measure as they'll bring him across from the far side of the field. I think this is the first measurement we've had in 4 games here at Hollister all season long.
Yeah, I don't remember one. Hopefully Saith Doyle and his crew here on the chains can help us out with an extra link in the right direction.
10:07 to go, second quarter. Governor football, by the way, is brought to you in part by your Pierre Sports marketing partners, among those including Stalkin Peterson, Lingo Walti Jones, LLP, Wagner Auto. He's actually saying first down, but I think he was saying first down Huron, but it's 4th down Pierre, as it will be a little bit short. Other partners include Olinger Law Firm, Red Rosa, Pitts Design and Build, the Pierre Chamber of Commerce, Iceberg Funeral Home, the Pierre Dental Clinic, South Dakota's National Guard, and your official voice of Governor Sports, River 92.7, part of James River Broadcasting, and DRG Media Group, your Pierre Sports marketing partners. So they'll move it back to the near hash mark. Set it up after stretching it out. The Governors are going to be less than a foot short. It's 4th and inches. No doubt here from the Huron 48-yard line, they'll be going for it. Another good spin move by Trey Lewis, but Huron so far, Coach, pretty good fundamental tackling so far.
Absolutely. And you see 35 back out there. You see Chance, and you also see number 99, Londo there. So you see in this big package here, I'm going to bet that there's going to be quite the middle movement, and we'll see what Huron can do to try and stop these big boys going forward.
Kaiser by himself. Governors try to get the surge up in the middle, and Jet Zable, who takes the snap, is hit, and he will not get it. A second effort as he tried to spin back toward the middle of the field, but Zable, the big fella, unable to pick it up. What a job defensively by the Tigers.
Yeah, and that pressure did not come from up the middle. That pressure actually came from around the edge, so it looks like the outside guys there relaxed just a little bit too much, let their guys slip, and they were able to get Jet kind of from the side and the back and not let him get any forward progress.
A lot of credit. The Governors had a goal line stand, a 4-down stop of the Tigers. Now Huron out near midfield gets a 4th down stop, and they'll take over with 10:02 to play in the second quarter. They've got it just ahead of their own 47-yard line. Still 7-0 Governors. Huron right to left as we watch this one. They'll dump it off to Caudle here on the near side. And a well executed play and a good first down gain for Caudle into Governor territory. Grayson Schutzel and Carson Stoser will run him out of bounds at the Pier 45.
Yeah, it's a simple back out there. The back just found the space, kind of sat down, and the outside linebacker didn't exactly flow with him as fast as he should, get that extra step, and that's where you're going to see a good 8-yard gain.
2nd down and 2 now. Huron into Governor territory for the second time tonight. 9:57, the clock will start up again. Handoff, Caudle running into the middle of the pack. On the near hash mark, Trey Lewis, linebacker in there. Austin Longdew also coming away from the pile. And this looks like it'll be right where the Tigers need for a first down, and the signal is made at the 43.
You know, you give up that one, now time to reset. I think on that first play there was a little bit of miscommunication as far as the strength call, and maybe had some personnel set on the wrong side. Didn't kind of understand your responsibilities, and so, like I said, now it's time to reset and dig in.
Clock running again at the 9:40 mark. Second quarter, 7-0 Pierre as McNeil has to run for his life. He throws up a prayer. And fortunately for the Tigers, this one falls. A Governor defender, it looks like Eastland out there, might have had a chance to pick that one off easily. Yeah, but he ended up going to the turf a little bit and could not get back to it.
Yeah, not his man that I think that they were trying to throw the ball to, but he had a chance to play on that nonetheless, and you know, just kind of got a little excited, didn't shift his hips as fast as he switched his feet, and he went down, and it's kind of lucky that that one ended up on the grass for everybody.
There was a wide receiver out there, but like you say, I think it was Caudle out of the backfield that maybe McNeil was trying to get it to. Caudle ran past the ball after it hit the turf. Now 2nd down and 10 at the Pier 43. From the near hash mark, heading right to left, fake the handoff, McNeil back. Here comes the rush, Sarda giving chase. McNeil will throw behind his intended receiver and leading Trey Lewis too far. Lewis, of course, plays for the other team, but that'll be an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 10 now for Huron.
Yeah, he was looking for that tight end drag. You know, they put a little fullback behind him and tried to create a little double situation right there and drag that tight end all the way across the field, and everybody just kind of did a good job of flowing and keeping that play extended all the way to the sideline, and that's a long time to run and cover a guy.
So 3rd down and 10. I didn't get to play back. We didn't get to play back our interview with Drew Strand, but in coaching, in talking keys to success, we talked a lot about run-pass balance. A lot of people assume Huron to be a throwing team. Now they go to the ground on 3rd and 10. Cashton Caudle will advance to the 40 for a gain of 3, but that pretty much tells you that Huron's going for it no matter what. Yeah, they did not throw on 3rd and 10.
Early in the year, they were a little bit more run-heavy, but that was, when Haig was healthy, and you think with a sophomore quarterback, you're probably going to be a little bit more run heavy at the beginning of the year, and then as the year progresses and kind of he progresses, you start to balance that out, and you've seen him get down in a couple games, and they got to go to the air raid, and so he's kind of baptism by fire a little bit and got his wits underneath him, and so they're definitely going to mix it up.
Well, they are going to punt here. Punter again is Colby Hofer. Had a fairly short one on his first one. This one he'll kick a bit of a better boot, but as Huron, in Huron you can't pick that up and advance it even if it hits the Govs, but I think Huron thinks that this one might have hit a Governor in the back. The ball right now at the 14-yard line, the officials are going to have to confer. Huron is adamant right now that that ball hit a Governor blocker.
And I'm not so sure they're not correct. It's real hard to see from where we're at, kind of switching window to window, but
they'll give it to him.
Yeah, maybe an inadvertent whistle stopped that play from what probably could have been a touchdown for the Huron Tigers.
Well, you wouldn't be able to advance it. Even if it hits a Governor, you cannot pick that up and advance it because the Govs didn't have control of the football. So the Tigers will have it at the Pier 14-yard line. Not sure who that hit, but that'll go as a turnover for Pierre. And it's amazing how many times we've seen that here in the last few years all of a sudden.
Yeah, you just got to have your heads up and pay attention to what's going on and, kind of listen to your guys from the sideline. But
now Caudle, as I was looking on the stat sheet, ended up having to pick the ball up. Was that a direct snap to the running back?
Yeah, either that or a completely – that snap did not go where it was supposed to, right over his head, and, kind of a lucky break there for the Govs to back them up a little bit more out of the red zone.
So it's interesting how this is playing out. A big break for the Tigers as they get the takeaway on the unfortunate bounce to the Governors on a punt. 1st and 10 from the 14. Tigers were in the red zone once already, could not score, and now an 8-yard loss on the fumble here has them at 2nd down and 18, and this play isn't happening. We've got a false start on the wide receiver out far left here on the near side. So the Tigers are going to be backed up another 5 yards. So right now you're looking at a Huron team that has been able to get a couple of breaks, but they haven't been able to take advantage as of yet. And with 7:50 to go in the second quarter, they still trail 7-0, but after starting in the red zone, they're going the wrong way.
And you're reminded that they are high school kids, and so you get that turnover, you get excitement, and then you get a snap over the head. That's probably too much excitement, and then a false start, maybe just a little bit more, so you can see the anxiety going on. And like I said, it's high school kids.
Second down and long here. McNeil will throw a slant over the middle, and boy, there's a lot of traffic there. 3 Governors in the pattern, but this one through the hands of the intended receiver.
Yeah, I think that one read pretty thoroughly by 3 guys, and unfortunately when there's 3 guys there, they were kind of all the Governors were the ones fighting for that ball.
Gavin Moding was the only Tiger in the area. 3rd down and 23 now. The ball at the 27, which makes the line to gain all the way down to the 4 for the Tigers. Logan Leyendecker will go to the far and the wide side of the field. Flanked wide right. Gainey and Moding are the receivers left, and Cottle takes the handoff, and he will be dragged down, but it takes a second or third effort or a couple of more Governors. Eastland had the first contact. Chamberlain with the tackle inside the 20-yard line. So the Governors were playing a little more prevent on 3rd and forever, but the Tigers will pick up nice yardage all the way to the 16. That's a gain of 11 for Cashton Cottle, but it'll be decision time here for the Huron Tigers. 4th down and 12. Looks like they're swapping personnel, and they may try to kick a field goal here.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little play that they had. There's a little counter motion in there that I think kind of helped the linebackers from being able to get that extra step in pursuit of that as hard as they wanted to, and now you're seeing a field goal attempt.
33 yards. The kicker is Nick Kleinsasser. He's a senior, but he doesn't get enough of this one to get it up in the air, and he also hooked it to the right. Left-footed kicker. So a missed field goal for the Tigers, and on a change of possession, we'll be back. Govs lead 7-0 here on River 92.7.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
First and 10 on a touchback after a missed field goal by the Tigers. Cade Kaiser on a quarterback keeper, doing a lot of dancing around in the backfield, then advanced up ahead of the 20, but got held by the arm and then dragged down near the sideline on the near side. But on the far side, there is a flag, and officials are ready to mark off about 5 yards, presumably here for the Governors. 10. A holding penalty on the far side of the field as the play came to the near side. So the Governors going to get a 10-yard decrease all the way back to the 10-yard line.
And so far here, a lot of penalties kind of on both sides, backing things up, so not exactly what either offense wants to see.
So 7-0 Pierce, 6:29 to go in the second quarter. Not a lot of scoring so far. Kaiser let the field open up, then he tucks and runs. He's out across the 10 to the 15, far side of the field, but again, really nice pursuit by the Tiger defense. Looked like Cade Kaiser had a lot of room to run, and suddenly all avenues are closed off here. And now what do we have? I heard the official on the mic. Kaiser looks like he only got about a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, I don't know if he was inadvertently on the mic, didn't shut that off from the last play call, or exactly what happened there. But Cade, fighting for all them yards. There was not a ton there, but he was sneaking through, and you're seeing a whole lot of pursuit by this Huron defense.
Well, all it is a 3-yard gain. It'll be a 2nd and 17 situation for Pierre.
And maybe Cade's helmet came off a little bit because he's off now. You see Elijah Bucci going in there. And you're going to probably see Zable at quarterback.
I was going to say Bucci was backup quarterback last year, but Zable is out there, obviously. He will take the snap. Got 3 receivers to the right. Zable was stopped for no gain on a 4th and short at midfield in the Governors' last possession. He'll take the snap here. This is 2nd and long. Zable short side, far side, and he'll be run out of bounds. He will advance ahead of the 15. Pick up, it looks like, of about 3 to the 16. And right now, I'm really impressed with this Huron defense. They're smaller, but a lot of times that means a little bit quicker, and they're getting to the gaps. And I guess in football lingo, they call that reading your keys.
Yeah, you're seeing that good team speed that they have as well. I mean, they're definitely in pursuit. They're hot and heavy in pursuit, and kind of causing some frustration here, and they've made those one-on-one tackles.
Kaiser's back in there, 3rd and 14 for the Governors. They're still in their own red zone. We'll see how much they can air it out here. Quick fire, Kaiser timing pattern. Zable has it. 45, 50, breaks loose, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. A hobbling Jet Zable. Still feeling the burn of that deep shin bruise from a week ago, but a long touchdown, the longest play of the year, goes 84 yards for Jet Zable, who is now the all-time touchdown leader receiving-wise for the Pierre Governors.
I bet that shin feels a lot better crossing that goal line and not seeing a yellow hanky on the field behind him, because that was a nice explosive play, one that the Governors have just kind of been missing, and so it was nice to see him be able to create just that little separation and get that touchdown.
You don't think of Zable as a speed guy, but obviously he's a guy who can break tackles, and it was one-on-one coverage. It really wasn't anybody else who was going to catch him. As long as that goal line got there a little bit quicker, he was slowing down a little bit. Here's Asher Vandenbos for the 2nd time and another line drive kick, but it's up. He's 2 for 2 in relief of Ryan Berry, who's getting ready to play a little playoff soccer tomorrow. The Governors with a long one. They get a 14-0 lead, 4:57 to play. 2nd quarter. We're back in 30 seconds. This is Pierre Governor football.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Receiver, he makes a great catch, obviously slips a tackle. That's Jet Zable doing what Jet Zable does. And he rambled about 60 yards after breaking, 55 yards after breaking that tackle. Asher Vandenbos with a PAT, 14-0, a 3-play, 80-yard drive, taking 1:44 off our 2nd quarter clock. Here come the Tigers up the middle of the field, flag thrown. The return man here is Thackeray Hansen, and he shows some quickness. Nice return out near the 40-yard line after he took the kick at about the 10. But a flag was thrown, and I'm assuming the Tigers are going to be marked back about 10 yards from the 30. That's the spot of the foul here on the near side. An illegal block in the back by Huron. Well, Coach Lewis, Coach Steve Steele called Huron, in my conversation with him, maybe one of the most, if not the most improved team in 11AA this year, and they've got the potential. You can see that as long as they can play maybe a little more consistent, not hurt their chances with penalties and things like that. But really like what this where this team is headed as we continue to say that.
Yeah, I've been impressed with their team speed, like I've mentioned a couple different times, and I'd like to think, as good as Yankton is, and I know they're always good, so maybe that's not a real comparison, but, I think they're in the mix for most improved teams as well, because a lot of people thought how far that they would drop off, with Rugby Riken and a few of their playmakers disappearing, but, they're in the conversation for that as well. You've seen Spearfish be able to come back from like a 1 and whatever season to be able to have, 3-4 wins right now, and it's still, with a couple games left. So I think there's a bunch of teams that are definitely improved.
3 yards on the ground for Cashton Caudle on first down. This time he's getting pushed back the wrong direction. Or the right direction if you're a Pierre Governor defender. Another flag will be thrown here near the point of attack. And it'll be another hold against the Tigers. And the Governors apparently will accept that penalty. That will essentially lose about 12 yards for Huron, as this flag is thrown 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And Mikkonen coming out with Cade Kaiser coming in shows me that the Governors are going to expect a pass here. They took one of their D linemen out, stuck in another DB, so they're running kind of a nickel package here. And again, kind of expecting this air raid to start when they're backed up a little bit more into their own territory with a long ways to the sticks.
5th penalty here. Well, nope. They're not taking. They're taking the result of the play, and that's a 2-yard loss back to the 21. Only 4 accepted penalties so far against the Tigers. That's the 10th carry of this first half for Cashton Caudle. 3rd down and 9. McNeil, short side, going to keep it. Looked like he had some running room, but the Governors will run him down at the 25. Tackled in bounds, but right in front of the Tiger bench. Chance Sarda in pursuit.
A long way to go from that middle linebacker spot, but definitely, like you said, a good pursuit there to be able to get out there. And when you sub out and get into that nickel package, ultimately that's kind of the guy that you need to get there.
Govs got what they wanted, a 3 and out. Good decision helping out with that, maybe declining that penalty. Trusting your defense, and now Colby Hofer will punt for the 3rd time here. Steps into it. This one is high. Trey Lewis asks for a fair catch, and he's got it. Just across the 50-yard line into Pierre territory at the 47. It's a punt of about 28 yards. Net gain here for the Tigers, but the Governors have it at their own 48-yard line. Leading 14-0, still plenty of time with 3:05 to play in the second quarter. Check in on other scores once we get to halftime, but there are plenty of other games going on DRG Media Group station. Stanley County leading their homecoming game 16-0 in the middle of the second quarter over Lemon McIntosh. And a good start here for the Governors on the ground. Brock Mosier taking Holton Hegg for a ride. And into Huron territory goes Mosier all the way inside the 45, inside the 42-yard line. And that'll be about a 10-yard, maybe an 11-yard gain here for Brock Mosier. Governors ready to go again in their 3-minute drill. Mosier again, following the right side of the offensive line inside the 40 to the 35, then pushed back by the club-handed, once again, Holden Hegg.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing is the Governor offensive line here is starting to really wear on this defensive line. They're starting to get a really good push, and anytime that you have an offensive lineman, 5 yards deep on a linebacker, as that was Brandon Valley's ploy last week, it typically spells a good recipe here for you, and Brock's running hard behind him.
2nd and a long 3 now for the Governors. 2:15 to play as Kaiser takes the snap. Play action, got to step up, got to get out of there. 40, near side to the 35, he'll be run out of bounds. And a good job there by Gavin Moding, but you give credit to everybody else who ended up in the backfield of the Governors. I see 5 out there, Mason Juergens. 75, Connor Johnson, the nose guard, he got in there too. Kaiser turns a negative play into a small positive inside the 35. We'll call it a 2-yard gain to the 33. And it's 3rd and 3 from there. Clock stopped. The play went out of bounds. Cade will keep it again as he gets through the first man. 30 to the 25. Up the near hash mark. And now extracurriculars at the end of a play. The flag will be thrown. I don't know if that'll be for a little pushing and shoving or maybe even a face mask on the end of that tackle, perhaps.
Yeah, not sure. There's kind of a big group there. It looks like the refs are talking it out, and there's a Huron guy right there listening, so I'm not sure if he's there to accept the penalty or listen to what exactly he may or may not have done.
So the end of the play here puts the Governors at the 23, and they're going to mark this in their favor, a 10-yard gain for Cade Kaiser. And it's a post-play foul, unsportsmanlike against the Tigers. So the Govs will get 1/2 the distance to the goal from there. From the 23, it'll send it down to about the 12. Call it an 11-yard penalty. Governors have it 1st and 10 in the red zone, but just outside of a goal-to-go situation. 1st and 10 at the 12, plenty of time. Clock starts up again, and we just went under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Timing throw out to the corner, far side. This one misfires against, or looking for Ty Buss. In single coverage, Logan Leyendecker out there.
Yeah, good play action there to see if you could get those corners to just take one step and bite down and then try and hit Tyan on that fade there. I'd say pretty good play call. Not a bad placement for the ball, but just not exactly where it needed to be.
2nd and 10 from the 12. They'll stay on the ground. This is Lewis with space. 10-5, spin move, touchdown!
Just kind of like Garrett Stout used to hit that B button, hit that spin, kind of lean into a guy right off, use his weight to keep you up, and it sure does look pretty from here.
A Tecmo reference. Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. 12-yard score for Trey Lewis.
I did
Is
spend
that
the last.
Tecmo or is that Madden?
I think that's Madden.
I'm a Tecmo guy.
I spent the last
young
couple
enough to be a
weeks trying to
Madden
come
guy.
up with more material here, sitting in the stands. I was pretty bored down there getting rained on 2 weeks ago.
20-0 Governors. Asher Vandenbos with a PAT. He's got another one. Boy, he's in a groove. And the Governors up their lead to 21-0. $1:42 to play. We're in the second. Pierre will kick after a 30-second step away. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
American Bank and Trust is rewarding you just for opening a
At Northern State University, your future starts with an affordable education that's personalized for you. Experience hands-on learning guided by world-class supportive faculty. You'll also enjoy a full campus life with opportunities to choose from numerous student activities and events, all in a safe, welcoming community. At Northern, you'll find a college that's right for you, a place to belong. Your future starts here. Unleash your potential at Northern.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press
PAT
Box.
makes it 21-0. Still 1:42 left in our second quarter. Welcome back to Phil Troutner Stadium in Hollister Field. Brian Oakland with Sean Lewis tonight. As we mentioned earlier, John Calda, who will do most of our home games with us, he's on family assignment. Kickoff taken at the 11-yard line. We've got a flag thrown early. Ball carrier back to the up across the 20 and then pushed back by 5 Governors.
Yeah,
leading the way is Max Hunsley.
You're going to see a holding here probably at about the 30-yard line. Guy was kind of just getting trucked and decided he was going to just pull the jersey down, kind of pulled him over top of him, and that ref was quick to throw the flag on it.
So the play never even got back to the spot of the foul. They'll mark it off at the end of the run. Tigers going to have a long field to play on here. The old Smokey and the Bandits song, a long way to go and a short time to get there. Half the distance here. We'll take them back to the 10. That's where the Tigers will start here. 1:36 to play. If you're Huron, job number 1 is to try to get a couple of first downs. Job number 2 is probably do not give the Governors a football again.
I would not think that they're going to want to, turn this football over with any time left on the clock. So they use the majority of it and see where it goes from there.
Both teams have all their timeouts. McNeil back in the end zone, almost slipped and fell. He'll throw out over the middle looking for Leyendecker, but he'll short hop. In fact, Spencer Schonsberg out there in coverage had a chance, the best chance to get back to it. And the Tigers fortunate that play wasn't picked off, but unfortunate that the clock is not moving now, as it'll be 2nd and 10 on an incomplete pass.
Good push there by the defensive line and even the linebackers. I mean, you kind of thought that there might have been a chance if McNeil wouldn't have spun out of that he could have been sacked in the end zone for a safety.
He almost went down to a knee himself. His foot on that first step slipped out from under him. They'll stay on the ground here with Cashton Caudle. And again, the Governors doing the job. Austin Longdew comes in with a final push to put him to the turf. Steve Steele will take his first timeout here in this second quarter.
Yeah, very good timeout usage when you've got them. You know, you haven't used anything yet, and you're trying to keep as much time on this clock as possible to try and steal an extra possession here at the end of the half.
Timeouts in our broadcast are brought to you by Coca-Cola Bottling. Go get your favorite Coke product. Be back in 30 seconds. We've got 1:23 to play in the first half. It's 21-0 Govs on River 92.7.
Titan Machine. Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Back at Phil Troutner Stadium at Hollister Field. Tigers still in a timeout huddle. It'll be 3rd down and 10 from their own 10-yard line. Governor Football brought to you on your official voice to the Governors, River 92.7, in part by your Pierre Sports marketing partners, who include Capital City Campus, Delta Dental, Maher Law Office, and Midco. Also Guadalajara Mexican Restaurant, First Dakota National Bank, and other Pierre Sports marketing partners. 3rd and 10 out of a timeout. The Governors looking to bring the house as McNeil unloads, has a man out there, and it is caught across the 40-yard line. There's pass interference that'll go against the Governors too, but a great play here. Caught by C.J. Gainey, who had his jersey getting dragged by a Governor defender at the same time. Great play for the Tigers here up to the 43.
Yeah, fantastic throw and catch there by the Huron Tigers. You know, that ball was placed about perfectly where it needed to be caught. A little bit longer and it would have been overthrown. A little bit shorter, probably would have been intercepted, but there was definitely some tugging on the jerseys back and forth there as well.
So they'll discuss this one, but I'm not sure why the discussion would take that long. Unless
they're trying to differentiate offensive or defensive pass interference on this.
Well, and I know I saw the receiver's jersey getting dragged. 2 fouls on the defense, so roughing the passer is declined. Pass interference will also be declined, so the Governors got to McNeil a step or two late. But the play will stand, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 43. And the Governors did not get an opportunity to force a punt as Huron comes up with a big 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, not something that a lot of teams have been able to do, which is get over top on the Governors there. It's kind of one where maybe we've been playing a little bit up and been playing a little bit too close and not being able to take that top away. And so, you know, kind of good for them to expose that, and ultimately the defense has to fix it.
Second long gainer through the air on the night for Huron. Only the 3rd completion for McNeil. He'll look for another one, but he's got to roll out, and he'll throw this one away to the Tiger bench. As Emmett Anderson in a battle with Jackson Reno, the center, in that backfield. But incomplete, makes it 2nd and 10 at the 43. Huron didn't lose any time, but then again, neither did the Governors. We're at 1:06 left here in the 2nd quarter. Second down, far hash mark. 2 receivers left, that's our near side. 1 right. McNeil rolling this way, heaves, takes a push from Titan Winkler, but the pass thrown well out of bounds again, as Gavin Moding and Jonathan Peterson are out there in the pattern. But Titan Winkler was breathing down the neck of the quarterback, forcing him to throw a lot sooner than he really wanted to.
Yeah, McNeil gets up, kind of looking at the official again, wanting that late hit, and it was like, well, he hit you right as you released it, buddy. That's kind of part of football. Maybe although the NFL game, it's went away a little bit more, but in high school football, that's not necessarily the rule.
So an even 1 minute to play. 2nd quarter, pace has slowed a little bit with a few more passes. We had a fast-moving 1st quarter. Governors lead, though, 21-0. This play isn't happening. The Tigers are going to take a timeout on 3rd and 10. A Coca-Cola break in the action. Let's get a 60-second break in here. Late first half. Govs on top 21-0. We're back with more Pierre Governor football.
Titan Machinery.
What if we said a bank isn't a place to lock up money? It's a place to set it free. What if the point of banking wasn't to bank at all, but to put your ideas to work? What if your bank asked, what if, a little more? Well, what if we told you we do? We're American Bank and Trust, where what if meets why not? If you're ready to change what you get out of banking, start a relationship with us. What if you made the move today?
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money. Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Third down and 10 out of the timeout. See if the Tigers can get something completed. Keep matriculating the ball down the field, as somebody once said. From the far hash mark, shotgun snap. McNeil surveys, steps up in the pocket, and short hops his intended receiver. And now we've got another flag thrown as McNeil has to pick himself up off the ground.
Yeah, you know, he really stepped up into that mix. So I'm not sure if he got hit and that's a late hit or maybe there's a hold in there. It's tough to say with kind of that whole grouping.
A lot of Tigers were back in there. It's personal foul, roughing the passer essentially for the second time in the last 3 plays by the Governors. And Huron is going to get penalty yardage to give them the first down into Pierre territory. Governors with quite a helper this time. Penalty numbers are really starting to climb a little bit. Governor coaches next to us aren't happy with the call.
No, I didn't exactly hear some pleasantries being yelled out at him.
So plus 15 puts Huron at the Pierre 42-yard line now. Still 55 seconds to play. Both teams with 2 timeouts to use. Here at the tail end of the second quarter. First half, option pitch will come to the left side. Caudle can't turn the corner as Grayson Schutzel has him by the sleeve. Lewis is in there. Lucas Chamberlain is in there. Caudle able to drag him for a 2-yard ride to the 40-yard line. And a timeout will be taken here by Huron. Another Coca-Cola timeout sponsored by Coca-Cola Bottling in Pierre. Let's take a 30-second break this time, and we're back with more Pierre Governor football.
The Field House in
Your first car. It might not have been perfect, but that didn't matter. You loved it because you worked hard for it. You took care of it, and it took care of you, your friends, and maybe that someone special. And through it all, we were there working with you, for you, to make sure it was a smooth ride. Farmers Union Insurance. More choices, great rates, local agents. Contact your local Farmers Union Insurance agent today.
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal
for live tickets tonight. Thanks to him for making the trip, and William Wilson in studio. You're listening to Pierre Governor football.
Driven by the Office of Highway Safety, River 92.7, KGFX FM, and K296FI Pierre. When you're distracted, who's driving?
Fake the handoff for Colton McNeil. He'll keep it himself, running right side, but cannot turn the corner as Lucas Chamberlain stays home and makes it a minimal gain. In fact, a 1-yard loss for the quarterback, McNeil. Now Huron has it 3rd down and 9 with 24 seconds left. Still a timeout to use. Quick fire out to the far side, cutting back to the middle or toward the alley. Up the numbers. This pass is caught by C.J. Gainey inside the 40. They'll spot him at the 36. That's a pickup of only 5. Short of a first down. The Tigers have it 4th and 4 now. I think they still have a timeout, not using it. McNeil steps up, fires long, far side. The Governors have position, and it's intercepted. Well, the Governors didn't need the interception, but it is Spencer Schonsberg, I believe, 14 out there.
Yep, that would be his second one on the year. He had the game-sealing one there at the end of the Yankton game, so good for him to be able to, I mean, you kind of saw that ball and exactly what could happen. He had position on his receiver the entire way.
Actually, it was the last play. As time has run out, I was thinking the Governors had more time and could have made a play from midfield, but that'll be the end of the first half. And on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, it is 21-0. The Pierre Governors leading the Huron Tigers here. Scoreboard brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. We've reached the half. Halftime is up next. It's sponsored by Wealth Partners Ameriprise Financial in the Capitol Creek Plaza on East Sioux Avenue in Pierre. We're back in 3 minutes to talk about the first half and what has become a 3-score Governor lead here at intermission. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Your official voice of the Governors is River 92.7, live streaming at drgnews.com.
The Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Rapid City supports all South Dakota student athletes and their families. They are conveniently located off Interstate 90, close to downtown and minutes from the beautiful Black Hills. The Ramkota offers sports and family-friendly rates. Guests can relax for free in the indoor water park. They have 36,000 square feet of banquet and meeting space, and the award-winning Minerva's Restaurant and Bar is located on site. Best Western Ramkota welcomes everyone to beautiful Rapid City, South Dakota.
We all want to be happy, but sometimes that doesn't feel possible. But if you have hope, you have everything. Rising Hope Counseling provides high-quality mental health services with locations across South Dakota. Additionally, by providing telehealth, we ensure South Dakota's rural residents have access to high-quality mental health services. Our team lives and works in your communities, and we understand the unique challenges we face. Schedule an appointment by phone or online today. Rising Hope Counseling, offering hope, healing, and change.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast fiber internet from Venture Communications. Upgrade to the speed you need, up to 1 gig. And with whole home Wi-Fi included as part of your service, experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or visit Venture Communications online.
That moment when you realize your furnace is stone cold busted. We're talking a real put on every sweater you own, I can't feel my feet, penguin predicament. But fear not, there's an expert for that.
Let your local heating experts at Pites Service Experts keep you warm with $50 off any furnace repair.
Like it toasty? There's an expert for that.
Call Pites Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
The Tigers all the way down to the 3-yard line, but from there, the Governors were pushing the Tigers back. They got back to the 7-yard line, had to go for it on 4th and goal from the 7, but a pass play was broken up by Emmett Anderson, and the Tigers came up empty on their opening possession. The Governors started at their own 7-yard line and had the longest drive I remember in my 4 years of covering the Governors on a regular basis. 17 plays, 93 yards, taking 7 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. Longest drives in terms of number of plays, I should say. Brock Mosier with the finish, a 3-yard run. Asher Vandenbos is kicking in place of Ryan Berry, who is playing quarterfinal soccer at Mitchell tomorrow morning. Vandenbos, the sophomore, gets his first PAT in a 7-0 lead at the 121 mark of a fast-moving, otherwise, first quarter of play. After a 3-and-out by the Tigers, the Governors get it back at their own 43-yard line. Good field position, but they were stuffed short on a 4th and inches. Jet Zable tried a snap but could not get to the line of scrimmage and beyond. Tigers had a good defensive surge. They take over, but from their own 47-yard line, they got a first down to the Pier 43, but then had to punt after that. But on that punt, an unfortunate bounce for the Governors came up the backside of one of their blockers, and Huron recovered it at the Pier 14-yard line. But again, the Governor defense stiffens. Huron had a penalty or two in there as well. They got pushed backward from the 14. Got back to the 27 on an 11-yard run. They get back to the 16, tried a field goal on the 4th down from 33 yards, but that was hooked short and left by Nick Kleinsass. So the Governors take over on the 20 after the touchback. And even though they had a holding penalty that put them back to the 10-yard line, 3 plays later, an 84-yard touchdown pass from Cade Kaiser to Jet Zable to put the Governors up 14-0 after a Vandenbos PAT. That comes at the 4:57 mark of the second quarter. Then after another 3-and-out for the Tigers, the Governors start on their own 48-yard line after the punt, and a 6-play 52-yard drive in the 3-minute drill, we'll call it, because that's when it started with about 3:05 to go. Governors take 1:23 off the late second quarter clock. Trey Lewis with a juking and jiving and spinning 12-yard run with the third score of the game for the Govs. Vandenbos's PAT makes it 21-0 at the 1:42 mark, and Huron did keep the ball the rest of the last 1:36 after the kickoff. Final play was a heave-ho by Colton McNeil down the far side, but it was intercepted by Spencer Schonsberg, and the Tigers come up empty in the first half. The Governors will get the kick to start the second half of play. The Governors, meanwhile, offensively get a 121-yard first half on the ground and 121 through the air as well. On the ground, several running plays. Cade Kaiser leads the way, 9 carries with 57 yards. Trey Lewis next in line, 8 carries and 44 yards, including the third touchdown of the night, the 12-yard run for Lewis. Brock Mosier, 5 carries, 17 yards. He had the first score of the night from 3 yards out. Jet Zable has had a couple of keepers from the quarterback position and just 3 yards gained. Through the air, Cade Kaiser unofficially 7 out of 9 in a good first half, 121 yards. Most of that, though, coming on that 84-yard bomb to Jet Zable, who caught it at the Pier 45 and rambled the last 55 after the defender slipped the tackle, or Zable slipped the tackle of the defender. Zable has 2 catches for 96 yards, including the 84-yarder. Brock Mosier has 4 catches tonight for 23 yards. Cooper Terwilliger with 1 catch for 2 yards. 121 plus 121, 242 total for the Governors. They have been penalized 4 times for losses of 40 yards. In this one, they did lose that 1 fumble on the muff of the punt. And unofficially, we've got 6, 7, 8 first downs for the Governors in that first half of play. On the other side of the page, it is the Tigers who have amassed just 34 yards of ground offense, 21 of those coming from Cashton Caudle. They featured running back, 12 carries and 21 yards. Colton McNeil, the quarterback, with 6 carries and 13 yards. That's all they've got, 34 on the ground. McNeil with 4 out of 13 through the air with 92 yards. 2 big plays, a 46-yarder to Colby Hofer to set up a goal-to-go situation on the opening drive, then had a 33-yarder to C.J. Gainey midway through that second quarter, but 92 yards of total offense for Huron. 34 on the ground is 126 total. Gainey has 2 catches for 38 yards. Colby Hofer, the 46-yarder. Cashton Caudle has a catch for 8 yards. Huron has had 6 penalties marked against him for a total of 46 yards. And I've got them with just 4 first downs picked up. They did throw the 1 interception, which happened to be on the last play of the first half. It was inconsequential. It's 21-0. Governors lead the Huron Tigers here. And our wealth partners, Ameriprise Financial. Halftime will continue after another 3-minute timeout. We'll take a look at other scores and upcoming action in Governor Sports. On the way, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Synergy's Sign Company, the area's newest sign company in Platte. We offer signage solutions for your business, from custom signs and banners to digital displays, autographics, and more. We'll help your business create a memorable impression. Synergy Sign Company. From custom signs to digital displays. Give us a call at 605-337-2686 or visit us online at synergysignco.com.
Hey, Tyler with Summit Contracting here. Let's talk about building on your farm. One of the great things about working with Summit Contracting is that we are the farm builders. We build premium grain systems and any structure that goes on your farm. It's never too early to start a project. We'll create a layout to ensure your structures are perfectly placed for today and the future. Let's get started on your farm project at buildsummit.com.
What set BH apart for me was that it was just slightly different. I had half of my class go to SDSU and USD, and I wanted to do something a little different, have a little different taste of things. It feels really easy to go with what everyone else is doing and just go where you know you're going to be comfortable, like at USD or SDSU, because you know everyone there. But I think this was a good enough stretch for me, but it still felt like I had a safety net. And then when I came here on campus, I remember walking around and I was like, this actually feels like a place where I could spend the next 4 years of my life.
Allied Plumbing and Heating is your contact for business, farm, commercial, and residential plumbing needs located in Pierre. No job is too big or small for Allied. Put our over 50 years of experience to work for you. At Allied Plumbing and Heating, the only surprise we want for our customers is how fast they get the job done. That's why we offer free estimates on every single service, no hidden charges. Give them a call today at Allied Plumbing and Heating. Remember, you can rely on your allies.
For over 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free building consultation.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
In Fort Pierre, Bauman Lumber is locally owned and offers quality products, expert advice, free estimates, and free local delivery for large or small projects. Whether it's a home improvement project, remodel job, or all new construction, they even welcome special orders. Quality building materials and affordable prices for residential or commercial projects can be found at Bauman Lumber, 1223 Sale Barn Road, Fort Pierre, or call 223-9762.
Ryan Oakland, glad to have you back here at halftime. The Governors on top of Huron, 21-0. Here's the rest of the scoreboard in Class 11AA. The big game for the Governors tonight, as far as scoreboard watching goes, would be the Yankton-Sioux Falls-Roosevelt game. The Bucks are leading Roosevelt 24-7. That game at halftime down in Yankton. And really, Yankton with a win over Sioux Falls-Roosevelt would likely have a better power average than the Governors would. In fact, we know that to be true. And that might put the Yankton Bucks into the #1 seed, even if the Governors come up with victories here. If both teams would win out, probably would see the Bucks as a #1 versus the Governors as a #2 going into that postseason playoff, despite the fact that the Governors have a win over the Yankton Bucks so far on the season. So just a little of a PowerPoint formula discussion to be had there for Governor fans. If they so choose. T-Area, who the Governors will see next weekend, have a 42-13 lead over Spearfish out west. T-Area, who went all the way to Sturgis last week, has to go all the way to Spearfish this week. They're leading comfortably. That's still with 4 minutes left in the second quarter, so the Titans offense working quite well. Also at halftime, Aberdeen Central with just a 7-0 lead over Brookings. Out west, Douglas trailing 20-0 to St. Thomas More. That game is at halftime. And then Watertown has a 20-0 lead as they're into the third quarter, hosting the Mitchell Colonels, as the Arrows are winning comfortably there. And Sturgis is handling Belle Fourche 26-0 out west as well. Big game. We saw the Brandon Valley Lynx here last week. It only makes you just question just how good the Sioux Falls Lincoln Patriots are. They got off to a fast start tonight, and they beat Brandon Valley 55-13 as that air attack of Sioux Falls Lincoln got going from the get-go. A big win for Lincoln to stay perfect as Brandon Valley falls to 4-3 on the season. Harrisburg shutting out Rapid City Central. That's at halftime. It's 48-0. No problem there. Rapid City Stevens is playing at Jefferson now, and they're in the fourth quarter. Sioux Falls Jefferson. Am I looking at that right? Jefferson leading Stevens just 14-0 in that game. That's a surprising score there. Central South Dakota scores, including in 11B. Winner leading at West Central 14-0. They're early in the third quarter. Del Rapids at halftime is handling Chamberlain 53-7 in that one. In Class 11B, Woonsocket Weston Spring Sanborn Central 42-14 leading Lee Deadwood. That's about it other than that winner score. Stanley County homecoming night across the river, and they are leading Lemon McIntosh at Ole Williamson Field 24-8 now. That game late in the first half. White River trailing out at New Underwood 22-20, and Kimball White Lake trailing at Wall 31-0. Parkston #1 leading Bonham 42-0. Minor interest in the booth on that one. Also Bennett County at halftime. How about that score? High scoring, leading Jones County 34-26. Our game on KPLO. Well, let's take a look at Phillip defeating Newell 64-0. Our game on KPLO tonight. Sully Buttes and Lyman are tied late first half at 14-14. Potter County trailing Harriet Selby 22-18. There at halftime on KMLO FM. That'll do it for our wealth partners, Ameriprise Financial halftime break. We'll look at upcoming action for the Governors a little bit later on, but boom, there's your Comtech opening kick. The second half put in play by Nick Kleinsasser of the Huron Tigers and the Governors. And I believe that is
flag and out of bounds.
Shufflebein. Yep, it is out of bounds. I was looking to see who was closest for the Govs. Actually, it's Spencer Eastland as he watches that one go out of play. And the Governors will have it 1st and 10 at their own 35 to start our second half of play. Good first half, Coach Lewis, for the Governors, but still, I think there's work yet to be done if you're in a Pierre uniform.
Oh, absolutely work to be done. Up 21-0, kind of not exactly how you wanted to play the first half. I know we got 21 points on the board, but there's definitely some things to go in the locker room and fix, and we'll see if that's what happened.
1st and 10, middle of the field, and a handoff here to Brock Mosier. He's hit immediately by 27, Hayden Scherson, a 165-pound senior, listed as a defensive back. Scherson getting the start here in the second half, and a loss on the play of a yard back to the 34 for Brock Mosier.
And you may have piqued the interest on PowerPoints through a couple listeners, throughout halftime. So definitely a scenario that we can talk through here maybe as the game continues.
Just underway, second play of the second half. Mosier with a good pickup of the blitz as Kaiser has to unload here on the near side. Throws in between Ty and Bus. Short, and Jet Zable the deeper pattern. But the Tigers with another good defensive effort, forcing the Governors into a 3rd and 11 coming up.
Good pick up there by Brock Mosier, picking up that blitz, but ultimately when you're rolling to the short side of the field, you kind of run out of real estate a little bit faster than you would want to.
So 3rd down and 11 here for the Governors. 11:22 to go, third quarter. Kaiser, plenty of time this time, looking, throws over the middle for Buss, and it's picked off at the Huron 45-yard line. Up across into Governor territory, this is Mason Juergens, a 180-pound sophomore, but Juergens gets up excited. He spikes the football, and he's going to get flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct. Huron will have the possession, though. And I think what happened there, Coach, it just looked like Cade Kaiser was staring down Ty and Bus the whole way, and Juergens, all he had to do was read the eyes and make the play.
He had a lot of time, and maybe in that case, too much time. Not a whole lot was open. There was probably a very small window there to get Ty and Bus, and when he kept looking into that window, eventually there were about 3 guys around that were also looking at the same window.
So Huron had it just into Governor territory, but the spike of the football, which you almost can't blame Juergens for making a big play, but you got to play by the rules nonetheless. Huron will have it 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line instead of the Governor 47. But Huron with the first big play of the second half, 11:12 to go here in the third quarter. They're moving right to left, east to west, Virtually no wind anymore. Option finally pitched out, and this, I believe, might be Thackeray Hansen. A different speed and quickness as opposed to Cashton Caudill, and he'll take his first carry of the game. He did return a kickoff earlier, and Hansen has a 9-yard gain up across the 45 to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, you know, interesting enough, he gets up, spikes that ball. You see that all the time on Sunday, and you used to call the NFL the No Fun League, and, you know, they've really expanded that in the last probably 10 to 12 years, where they get to have a lot of fun, in fact, too much fun, and you get caught up watching it thinking you can do it, and that's just not something that's allowed in high school football.
Hansen again with an inside handoff here. Had a head of steam, but the Governors will stand him up quickly. He might get the line to gain, but not much else. The 1 yard might just be enough. Ball rests with a nose on the 49-yard line and without a measurement.
Yeah, that was pretty generous forward progress, I would say, on that play, but, you know, when you're operating there on second down or, you know, whatever, and you only got about a half a yard to go, give him the first down, let's get a new fresh set and go from here.
Seemed like Hansen had a really good head of steam. I'm not sure who stood him up, but that Governor defensive line with a strong play to limit him to only a yard. Hansen is still back there. Keep an eye out for number 15, Caudill. I think, wonder if this is just a change of strategy for the Tigers, and a pass thrown out to the near side looking for Hofer. It's overthrown. Hofer reached his arm up, couldn't reach it, couldn't haul it in, and Titan Winkler was right there to give him a good shove and a hit. And in the progress of play, second down and 10 here for Huron.
Yeah, you know, good job by Titan Winkler to get out there in coverage and kind of be, you know, tiptoeing right behind him. Maybe you heard the footsteps behind him, and that's what kind of made him not really want to outstretch as much as he could. And you're seeing Titan a little bit more in coverage tonight than you have in the past, but ultimately with this air raid offense that they've got, this is what it requires.
McNeil on a quarterback sweep near side. Emmett Anderson giving chase. Carson Stoser with a little bit of a nudge to make sure he goes out of bounds. And I'm going to call this a running play all the way, even though it looks like McNeil loses a yard. I'm going to give him a sack because they really weren't looking to throw the football. Technically about a half a yard loss, but it will be third, and we'll call it 11.
Carson Stoser with a sack on the stat sheet there, not one you typically see from a corner.
You call that a sack. I say if it's not a throwing play, which I guess we don't know, but
we'll give him a TFL maybe.
The TFL, definitely. Now McNeil flushed out. Far side rolling right, and he'll throw short and out of bounds, just throwing that one away to avoid the sack this time. Governors stand their ground after a first down pickup for the Tigers. And again, that play, or this possession, this sequence of downs resulting from a Mason Juergens interception of Cade Kaiser, but it'll be 4th and 11. The Tigers relegated to punt. 4 of 13, now 4 of 13 in the first half through the air, now 4 of 15 for Colton McNeil. Colby Hofer back to punt. This will be his 4th boot of the game. Good snap. Steps into this one in plenty of time. Trey Lewis will take it back at his 21. He drops it but picks it up. Spins away from first contact. Gets yardage. 25-30. Slips a tackle. 50. 40. Lewis in a foot race. His Pops loves it up here. It's 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Trey Lewis just about made a mistake. He picks it up, and just right away there was a Huron Tiger in his face. He had to spin away from him. Looking back, no flags on the field. Coach, you called it. You thought you might see a punt return tonight, and the kid delivers.
I did. I know they were working on this team, and you kind of saw it. I mean, the communication on this punt return team has not been up to par so far today. So obviously during halftime they got all that ironed out, and, you know, outside of a quick little bobble, maybe it was a little showmanship, maybe it wasn't. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Can't remember exactly where that play originated. I think that was something in the vicinity of about a 73-yard punt return for Trey Lewis. Asher Vandenbos, the sophomore, puts another one through the uprights, and the Governors with a special teams touchdown. Tack on 7 more. They lead the Tigers now 28-0 with 9:48 to play here in the third quarter. We're back at 30 seconds for another Governor kick. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
For 70 years, Pitt's Design Build has earned our reputation locally for serving communities across South Dakota. We provide design and building services for schools, hospitals, churches, commercial offices, multifamily housing, and so much more. Pitt's Design Build is conveniently located in Pierre, Mitchell, and Sioux Falls to serve you and your organization. We bring value to our clients by facilitating the design and/or construction process. Give us a call today and check us out at pittsdesignbuild.com for a free
Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth
more. We're
more.
going with a 79-yard play as we ask the coaches to consult the huddle camera. 79 yards on the return. A bobble by Trey Lewis, but a pickup and a spin move, and then just weaving through traffic up the near sideline as Trey Lewis tacks on another score here for the Governors. 28-0. As Jet Zable will kick off here at the 9:48 mark of the third quarter. Now Thackeray Hansen coming back with some quickness. He takes it from the 9 up the far hash mark. Started right, turned up the corner, and up across the 35-yard line to about the 38. Thackeray Hansen has a different element to the running game here and the return game as well for the Huron Tigers, and we'll see if they continue to use that.
He's definitely got a burst, something that you haven't seen out of the other return guys or running backs so far. I mean, he's very quick in the first 5 yards. That's kind of impressive. We'll see if they continue to use him.
Still in the backfield in place of Cashton Caudle here in the second half, but his inside handoff is going nowhere this time. The Governors on the interior line standing him up, and you know, the guys on the line, coach, they never get enough credit, either offensively or defensively, but these guys just continue to play better and better. We're talking especially, I think, Emmett Anderson, E.J. Bucci on the edges, but Austin Longdew is covering and plugging a lot of holes as the season goes along.
Absolutely. They're doing a fantastic job, I mean, with their hands. They had their work cut out for them last week, and it's nice to see, you know, kind of after what they had to go through last week to get their heads up and, you know, get right back at it.
2nd and 10 here, no gain. That first down play, now the option will come to the left, and Hansen has no more room to run this time either. McNeil might have been better off just to keep that himself and get to the line of scrimmage, but there again, those guys, Longdew trailing the play, is right there, along with Emmett Anderson, who makes first contact. This is a loss back to the 34, and it'll be 3rd down and 14. So Thackeray Hansen, who had a 9-yarder on his first run of the day, loses 4 on this one. He now has 4 carries for 6 yards.
And you're seeing a little bit better communication on the Govs with that speed option. You know, they've seen it a few times before, and they're kind of hitting them in different formations, but ultimately they're getting that communication piece worked out.
McNeil steps up and rolls out, throws on the run, looking for C.J. Gainey out there, but there is Eastland step for step. And if Gainey can catch that one, I think he would have been out of bounds at about the Pierre 38-yard line. McNeil put a good throw on that one distance-wise, but there's just not enough room for Gainey to haul it in, and the Tigers are going to have to punt again.
You've seen really good pressure again by those front 3. They're really not having to bring much extra, you know, besides those, and then you're seeing a lot of guys back there in coverage, which is making it real tough, you know, even if McNeil does get flushed, to be able to do something with it.
8:11 time left here in the third quarter. The Governors led 21-0 at half. They lead 28-0 right now, and Trey Lewis, who returned the last one, has a chance here from the 32. Near side, and a flag is down already right where Lewis ends up. He loses the football, but the Governors will fall on it at the 45. And again, right where Trey Lewis was tackled, it looked like there was a yellow flag on the ground at the Pierre 45-yard line. So a 13-yard return this time after going 79 to the house on the previous effort. And we'll see what this flag is all about, which 9 times out of 10 on a return is usually on the receiving team. And it looks like the Govs will get marked off on this one.
You know, with the direction that umpire's heading, I'd say your law of averages is definitely correct this time.
A personal foul?
Oh, not even a holding, a
No,
personal foul.
no, I saw the personal foul signal. I didn't see what, I don't know if there was a further explanation on that. But
nope, I think they put it on 35 with Chance Sarda, and that was kind of where they left it.
Unnecessary roughness, Reagan Weber, the camera guy, says. So Pierre, with 7:59 to go in the third, starts at their own 30-yard line. Cade Kaiser, snap. Quick throw out far side. Ball is caught. Brock Mosier still going. Up to the 50 into Tiger territory to the 40. Wrestled down out of bounds from there and late pursued by the Tigers here. But Brock Mosier with a good burst and just a little bit of a quick hitter out to the far side. I don't even know if I'd call that a wide receiver screen. Don't know if he even had some blockers in front of him. He just did all of that all by himself.
And that burst that Brock has, now he was wrestled down more like steer wrestling because he got taken pretty high up top there out of bounds.
30 yards on the gain. Mosier's 5th catch of the night. Kaiser still with it here, has the 30 for a first down. 25-20 near side, but a flag is thrown as Kaiser runs his way into the end zone. A would-be 40-yard touchdown here for Kaiser, but 2 flags are thrown here on the edge at about the 25-yard line, 15 yards upfield.
Yeah, and they're both thrown right there at the 20 where Brock Mosier and Ty and Buss had a guy kind of double-teamed and pegged up, and the refs didn't like what they saw and called a hold.
So Cade Kaiser will get about 15 yards, but not a 40-yard touchdown. Now, you're looking and you're asking players who, you know, obviously blocking is a part, and it's a responsibility of everybody on the field at some point during the game. But guys who are being asked to block who don't normally do that, so you know, there's a lot of teaching and technique to, you know, to keep things from happening like this as the season goes along.
Yeah, you know, both guys had their hands inside. You know, as an offensive lineman, you're going to do that and get away with that all day. You know, out there on the edge where it's a little bit more visible, especially when you got a quarterback busting for a touchdown, you know, that one's probably going to get called. You just got to get in the way and kind of chip.
Going to give Kaiser 17 on the play, 10 yards of penalty yardage, put him back at the 33. Now another keeper for Cade Kaiser. He is brought down over on the near side by Connor Johnson, trailing the play from the D line, maybe a yard here. Basically, that was a 1st and 3. 17 yards to the good, 10 yards penalty yardage, but then now a 1-yard effort here.
And it looks like we may see Jed Zable in man-on-man here down on our near, and I guess we're going to get a flag before anything starts.
2nd and 2, the down and distance, but pre-snap and a false start against the Governors. Sometimes, some games, it just seems like there's so many flags. Obviously, you'll get officials calling different things different ways, and sometimes maybe the games are played a little bit cleaner, or in this case, maybe a little bit messier. But a number of flags on both teams here. Zable on a jump ball at the 10-yard line, floated by Kaiser, a little bit underthrown. Zabel tried to reach back up over the top of the defensive back and unable to get it. That'll be incomplete. That was a good well, I was going to say that was a good play call on 3rd and 2, but I forgot about the penalty. It's 3rd and 7, or what was 2nd and 7.
And you see Cade saw pretty much what I saw. Jet Zable going to get that man-to-man coverage, and anytime you see that, you pretty much want to take your chance with Jet. Just underthrew that ball a little bit.
The 1-1 jump ball turned it into an 84-yard touchdown earlier tonight. Kaiser keeps it, 30-yard line near side, has a first down. That's just good vision and a good patient run here for Cade Kaiser, feeling his way for a good gain and a first down pickup to the 28-yard line. Give him 9 here. Zable also won 2 jump balls for touchdowns last week against Brandon Valley.
He's still limping just a little bit on that leg, but I think you're seeing him work it out as the game is going on.
1st and 10, new set of downs for the Governors inside the 30-yard line. Brock Mosier on the ground, started right, cut back to the left, not being brought down. He'll get a 2nd or a 3rd effort inside the 20, down to the 18, and it should be another Pierre first down.
Yeah, good hard run in there by Brock. You know, kind of got just a little hole, squeezed through it, and made a bunch out of that before he got touched in the secondary.
See where they mark it. Now they're moving the chains on the far side of the field, so 3 first down pickups here for the Govs. And now I think, Coach, as Huron has a lot of guys playing defense as well as on offense, maybe this is the point of the game where I think the Governors are starting to wear that defense down a bit. 5:50 to go. Play action, first down throw. This is Zable, his third catch of the night. It's a short one, though, just inside the 20. In fact, they may not have even gotten back to the line of scrimmage here.
I think you were correct on that. And you started to see, you know, that Huron defense just really wear out kind of at the end of that second quarter, right before half. And, you know, we're not quite into the fourth yet, but we're approaching the end of the third quarter, and I think you're starting to see those gas tanks deplete as well.
This is actually a loss of a yard on a completed pass. Zable has 3 catches tonight. Now that leaves him 3 short of Jack Merkwan's 123 reception mark, the all-time record in Pierre Governor record books. Merkwan, the senior from a year ago. And Kaiser on a quarterback keeper slips and falls. Might have gotten that yard back, but
yeah, I think he looked to plant his feet right there to be able to cut, and maybe the grass is a little bit slippery or didn't get his heels in, but that definitely didn't look like the way that he wanted to go down.
Well, and you can see getting up. I didn't think that one looked proper. He gets up and he's limping, favoring one of his ankles. And just a minor thing right now, it looks like, for Cade Kaiser, but now it's 3rd and a long 10. He'll throw short. Zable gets a block on the outside. Watch him go. 15 to the 10. Slips a tackle. Has the 5 and the goal line. Touchdown, Jet Zable. And you love it when you can see it as soon as a receiver gets an underneath catch. And then you look out on the far side and a guy like, I believe it was Ty and Bus, throwing the block that'll spring Zable the rest of the way. It's a 19-yard touchdown for Jet Zable, his 2nd of the night. His first one made him the all-time receiving touchdown leader in Governor history. He'll add another now.
Yeah, fantastic to see that play develop where he comes streaking all the way on that drag route across the formation. You've basically seen him on goes or one-on-one so far, so to be able to see him come all the way across and get a pick with a linebacker and then see that blocking by his wide receiver out there to spring him for that touchdown was definitely fun to see.
Another PAT is good for Asher Vandenbos. The Governors up their lead to 35. We'll have Mercy Rule timing when we come back. After a 30-second break, the Govs will kick in a 35-0 lead here at Phil Troutner Stadium in Hollister Field. Back in 30, this is Governor football.
When you're thinking of a new or used,
Scott Darno with Lee Real Estate in Pierre is ready to help you find your dream home. There are 10 things you need to do to buy or sell your home. Number 1, call him at 605-220-2676, and he'll handle the other 9. As your resident realtor on a bike, he will make buying or selling your home feel like a walk in the park, not an Ironman triathlon. Find him on Facebook or email scott@LeeRealEstatePierre.com. Lee Real Estate and Scott are proud sponsors of Central South Dakota Youth Sports and Events broadcast on Live Ticket TV. Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Had 2 possessions, threw an interception on their first one of the second half, but returned a Huron punt. Trey Lewis for 79 yards. And after another Huron 3 and out, the Govs this time go 9 plays and 70 yards in 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Cade Kaiser to Jet Zable for 19 yards. Asher Vandenbos with a PAT. It's 35-0, and clock will run continually here the rest of the way, unless Huron makes a big comeback here in the second half. Colby Hofer with the return up the near side on a shorter kick from Jet Zable is out of bounds at about the Huron 35. Looking up at the clock, 4:43 left. That's where we'll start this possession. That's in the third quarter. Ryan Oakland play-by-play, Sean Lewis at side. Will Wilson, our studio coordinator, and on camera, making the trip here to fill in is Reagan Weber. Thanks for being here. And here we go. Is Colton Cade McNeil. No, Colton McNeil. I was right the first time.
Yeah, not Big Brother.
Yep. As he'll get a quarterback sweep to the outside, far side. Maybe a 5-yard gain. Maybe a 4-yard gain. They'll mark it at the 39. It'll be 2nd down and 6. And on plays like that, where normally the clock would stop, as the Govs lead by 35, clock runs continually even when plays go out of bounds or passes fall incomplete, things like that, even on changes of possession. On the far hash mark, Tigers moving from right to left. As you visualize this one, Thackeray Hansen will go nowhere. He's been the ball carrier for the second half. Seems to me that the Tigers did this last year too. They had one running back in the first half, maybe a different one in the second half. Hansen gets just back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And the Governor defensive line starting to bottle people up. And I think maybe as you have a guy like Ashton Cottle, maybe he's been out there on defense and just haven't noticed it, but some of these guys that have to go both ways for the Tigers, their roster size obviously is not as big as the Governor's.
Yeah, and just maybe
that's a factor.
Just the difference in the way he runs. Maybe it's a little timing and a little tempo thing. Being able to get that, and like you said, maybe he's also playing on defense. The other one is so try to distribute a little bit and not kind of go top heavy to any single person.
The screen floated in the middle as the Governors defended well. Actually, it was a well-run screen, I thought, but up across the 40 to the 42-yard line, only a gain of 3. McNeil hitting Jonathan Peterson for his first catch of the night. But Huron is still going to be a few yards shy of the line to gain. And they have their personnel swapped. They'll punt it away with 2:20 to go in the third quarter. 35-0 Govs. Hofer kicks. He'll try to avoid Trey Lewis this time, and Lewis will let it bounce on the numbers at the 30. It'll bounce to the right and out of bounds on the Huron side at the 26, and the Governors will have it 1st and 10 from there. Quick change of possession. Let's take a 30-second break. This is Pierre Governor football.
Olson Plumbing in Pierre provides complete plumbing and drain cleaning services to commercial and residential customers. Olson Plumbing understands how the simple things in life are often the things we can't live without, and running water is the top of the list. Olson Plumbing offers 24/7 emergency services, and they can be at your location in under an hour in most cases. If you need help with your plumbing system, call Olson Plumbing 605-224-6436.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Outside, near side for Cade Kaiser on 1st and 10 from the 26. He had a nice stiff arm to get out of bounds, only at about the 28, maybe the 29, but a flag was thrown on the far side of the field. And looks like the Governors are going to get backed up. Yet again, this is going to be the 7th penalty marked against Pierre on the evening as we enter the final minutes of the third quarter. And again, even for penalties, clock not stopping to mark off the yardage. Back them up to the 16.
And that holding penalty is probably a tough one there to swallow, being it was a completely botched snap from the get-go, and then it happens all the way on the opposite side of the field. Just not one that you want to see when a play happens that fast, and again, completely on the opposite side.
And maybe again, well, it's either on the left end or even from a wideout on the far side. Here comes Mosier straight up the seam. On the near side from the 16 across the 20 to the 25. Maybe gets all 10 holding yards back. They'll spot him at the 26. That's one of those plays that, as a football purist, I think you just love to watch. I mean, he just protects with 2 hands, puts his head down, follows blockers, and just keeps running until somebody gets him down.
Yeah, and you know, kind of the thing I know that the Pierre defense was complaining about a little bit last week is with those big old Brandon Valley linemen, they just really weren't able to see the running back. Well, Brock's not all that big, and so when he gets behind our line, I suppose he's pretty tough to see, especially when he puts his head down, wraps that ball up, and just keeps trucking forward.
Final play of the third quarter on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard. The Governors tack on 14 from halftime. They lead the Huron Tigers by the score of 35-0. Scoreboard's brought to you by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. We pause for 60 seconds. We're going to the fourth. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football and your official voice of the Govs, River 92.7 and drgnews.com.
Graham Tire of Pierre is your premier hometown shop, specializing in tires to fit vehicles, from ATVs to large farm equipment and everything in between. At your tire store next door, you can find a plethora of brand name tires that range from 4 to 10 ply and much more. Our highly skilled technicians can handle brakes, heating, and air conditioning. Call us today at 224-8643 or visit us at grahamtire.com. Graham Tire is a proud sponsor of Pierre and surrounding communities' local activities.
Welcome back to the Owyhee Federal Credit Union Press Box. Owyhee Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money. Welcome back to the Oahe Federal Credit Union Press Box. Oahe Federal Credit Union, where people are worth more than money.
Piltroner Stadium at Hollister Field. Welcome to the fourth quarter. Brian Oakland with you, and Brock Mosier taking the inside handoff. And as he will finish a run, we'll have another flag thrown to start our fourth quarter of play. 4 yards for Mosier for now. These sideline officials, coach, they're seeing the field quite well. They've thrown a number of flags tonight. This one is looking maybe like a face mask. Actually, now that the referee gives the signal, I didn't see it. Is that maybe a 5-yard face mask?
I would probably assume there that it was. I mean, our vision's definitely not as good here. Looking through the glass, you know, they're right there down on the field, got their eagle eyes on, and you know they've been using them and also exercising that throw a little bit tonight.
4 yards for Brock Mosier on the run. They tack on 5 at the end of the run. So now 2nd down and 1 on the 7th penalty, 8th penalty counted against the Tigers. The Governors have 7, and now penalty number 8 will come, I'm assuming, to the Govs. A pre-snap penalty here.
Now it's kind of to make light of this. I mean, it's almost like the Oprah Winfrey show right here. By you get a penalty and then you get a penalty. We've got flags flying all over the field, and we haven't even had plays run yet. So it's kind of the interesting piece. So we'll march it forward, we'll march it back, and eventually we'll play some football.
False start here. So both teams now with 8 penalties. Governors got a 5-yard helper on the previous play at the end of it, but now they'll be marked back to the 30 again. It remains, or it becomes again, 2nd down and 6. 10:50, clock runs in the 4th. The Governors in mercy rule timing with a 35-0 lead over the Huron Tigers. Pierre's got a big one at T area next week. Looking forward to that one. Here's an option pitch. This is Mosier, right side. He's got a 1st down pickup and a few more. Across the 35 and to the 38 it appears. He'll advance 2 yards ahead of the line to gain. The Governors will move the chains with a pickup of 8 for Mosier.
Yeah, good job there. You see Chance started in there kind of leading the way even on that option, and so real good blocking downfield, and I mean just big plays. It's ultimately what you need. Just keep moving them chains. The time keeps running, and we just need to get this game over with.
By keeping it on the ground, where it really doesn't matter. The clock is running. That was an 8-yard pickup. Mason Juergens on the stop. Mosier will come again. The inside handoff across the 40 to about the 41. Modest gain this time. They'll give him 3. And 2nd and 7. Huron next week has a game against the Mitchell Colonels. Their Highway 37 rivalry renewed. That'll be at Tiger Stadium. In fact, their last 2 games will be at home. They've got the Yankton Bucks to close out the season 2 weeks from last night. The final week will be played on Thursday evening. 9:25, we're counting down the 4th quarter. Again, continually running clock regardless of what happens on the play. Mosier again protecting, following the nub guard Jacob Mikkinen here. And he'll advance up to the 45. Another 4-yard gain.
And maybe now's the time that we can go back to that whole PowerPoints playoff picture, scenario. I think the 3 scenarios that I had looked at for the Governors to retain that #1 seed was first and foremost for Roosevelt to beat Yankton, which didn't happen, so check that one off the list. If Brandon went undefeated the rest of the year, they lost to Lincoln, so that one didn't happen. Now the only other one that remains kind of out there is
hold that thought. We got Kate Kaiser running out near side. He'll get a 1st down, 50-yard line, just into Tiger territory. Run out of bounds there at about the 48, and a good run here for Kaiser. It is 14, Peyton Bischoff, who will run him out of bounds.
Yeah, and so the only other one remaining is Spearfish losing out for the year, because ultimately, I mean, when you have the same schedule as Yankton, you got to look at those 2 games that are not the same. And you know, you've got the West River teams that all have 2 single-A opponents, whereas the rest of us, have those triple-A opponents. And so, when you think of a loss to a Brandon Valley being the same as maybe a loss to Belle-Fourche, something out west, right, it just doesn't seem equitable, but it is the situation that we're in. And, You know, it's not the same as AAA. AAA goes by just simply wins within their division, so their AA games don't count, whereas when you're in AA, your single A and your AAA games, they don't just count. They actually mean a whole lot in the grand scheme of things.
First down play is a false start, so no play at all. The Governors will get backed up to their own 47-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. Now, whatever the scenario is played out, you assume the Govs will have one of the top 2 seeds. That means 2 home games, and if they win those, they advance to the Dakota Dome and a chance to win a 7th straight 11 AA title. That's the biggest grand scheme of things, but obviously the number 1 seed plays maybe not quite the power of an opponent as the number 2 seed would play in the semifinals, and I think that's the biggest that's the biggest complaint I think a lot of Gov fans and the coaching staff would have there.
Yeah, and it's the assumption that, you know, Yankton takes care of business and wins out, that Pierre takes care of business and wins out. And I mean, we still have a tall task ahead of us next week, having to travel to T.
2nd and 14 after a 1-yarder for Brock Mosier. Now play action pass. Kaiser with time, but that time ran out. He'll tuck and run to the near side, run out of bounds. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, so no sack here. And this will be a 3rd down and 14 coming up. Ball resting at the Governor 48. Gov's not in any hurry at all. 6:25 clock running. They lead 35-0, and everybody's moving, but the ball was not snapped. And Zayden Rounds may have missed the snap count there. False start here against the Govs. Another 5-yard penalty. And now they've got 10 penalties overall. Back it up to the 43, 3rd and 19 for Pierre. Kaiser alone in the backfield, 2 receivers right, 2 left, going out in pattern. He wants to throw long. He's looking for Buss, and that'll be pass interference against the Tigers. And the defender can't believe it, but I think he was holding that arm out as Buss wanted to cut back to the ball. The defender, and maybe you can call it hand fighting, but that defender, it looks like C.J. Gainey, just kept that arm stiff and wouldn't allow Buss to advance back to the football. How'd you see that one?
Well, it's kind of the old used car salesman there. It didn't look good, but ultimately you got to sell it, and I think that's exactly what Tyon Buss did. He sold that jalopy and probably got that pass interference call out of what may have not actually been pass interference.
Now, I mean, if I'm defending and I'm holding that arm stiff out there, is that does that constitute a penalty? I guess that's the question there, or the interpretation. It's 15 yards for the Governors on the penalty. It's still short of a 1st down. 3rd down and 5. Far side and a rollout here for Kaiser. And boy, the Tigers came after him in a hurry. And it's an incomplete pass, and the Governors will be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
I say not a team that we've seen so far, so to see Jet Zable come in here and see what he can do, hopefully put this thing down on the 1, and let's see if Mosier can get down there and down it on the 1.
4th down and 4 here. Kaiser's 16th pass attempt of the night. He's got 2 touchdowns, both to Jet Zable, one from 84 yards, the longest play from scrimmage for the Governors this year, and a 19-yarder as well. They lead 35-0. We've got 4 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter as the clock runs continually. First punt for Zable. Huron's going to go block, and Zable just thought about it too long. He kicks one off the side of his foot, and this one is going to be a big break for the Huron Tigers.
And possibly if you'd have thought about it just a second longer and seen all of Huron's guys just simply back up, he may have been able to run that thing for 10 completely untouched.
It was 4th and 4. Now 3.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Maybe the last opportunity for the Tigers to try to get on the board here. 35-0 Governors.
And you're seeing our JV defense out there. Looks like we've went wholesale exchange, and see what those guys can do when they get the opportunity.
Hanson, the running back, if that's still the case. As coaches are exiting, we have a tradition up here. We fist pump after every game, and Scott and I about forgot that rule. 7 yards.
He's been on vacation for about a week, so I mean, excuse him. His mind still may not have made the return
Mind is always
flight.
on vacation. He's across the 40. Thackeray Hansen is for a 7-yard gain. I believe that was Hansen. As the Tigers still have it. C.J. Moding. He's going to take a sweep. The handoff on the reverse. He has a first down across the 50 into Governor territory. Gavin Moding, one of the wide receivers. Huron mixing things up a bit, and a good gain to the Pierre 44-yard line.
I think you're seeing some of the Governor sideline here get a little excited. These starters that have worked so hard to pitch this shutout, they want to make sure that these backups also go ahead and secure that, because I'm going to guess that they want some donuts or some breakfast here this next week.
If you put a donut on the scoreboard, you are rewarded handsomely and accordingly. Far hash mark, a 14-yard gain on the jet sweep. Now play action. McNeil rolling this way, has his man. That's Gainey inside the 40. He'll be wrestled out of bounds there at about the 36-yard line. Grayson Schutzel is out there. It is Trevor Rounds as well. A couple of linebackers. And that'll be a decent gain, but not enough for a first down. They'll pick up about 7 to the 37. Gainey's 3rd reception of the night. McNeil only 6 out of 18 now unofficially throwing the football. Down to 1:15 to play. Governors at T area next Friday night, which happens to be somebody's birthday.
Yours, not mine.
By the way, happy birthday, Sean Lewis. 2 days ago. He's 40. I'm older than that. And this will be PI on the Governors on a pass down the middle at the 5-yard line. Gainey is interfered by a Governor defender. Is that 20 or 28 out there for the Govs? Tyson Polston. We don't have a 28.
Yeah, it's 20.
It's Tyson Polston.
Good.
And he actually did a good job. Yeah. He just face guarded a little too much, didn't turn his face or his head around to look for the football, and I think that's why he's getting flagged here.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. If he'd have turned around and, you know, made a play on that ball or just kind of got a good look at it, I don't think he would have got that. But being he continued forward with his back to kind of the ball and the action and where it was going on, they threw that flag.
So Coach Sean Lewis, by the way, fans, is 40 years old now, so start up with the old jokes. I got those for turning 50 last year. And we've got a play stoppage here. 51 seconds to play, and again a 15-yard penalty for defensive pass interference puts the Tigers now at the 22-yard line. Coldest night of the year, but there's a lot of guys still in short sleeves out there. They're football players. We'll start the clock up again. McNeil takes the snap. He's watching Moding out there in a little up and out. He cuts back into the middle, but he's overthrown. Pass thrown to the back corner of the end zone. And Gavin Moding, the intended receiver, but incomplete. And the Tigers' time to try to get one in the end zone, starting to run short here. 2nd down and 10, but even on the incomplete pass in a 35-point ball game, clock continues to run. At the top of the hour, we'll get a station break here when we go to postgame after one more play for the Tigers. From the 22, McNeil with time, surveying, will throw, floater, Hail Mary to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Knocked down by the Governors, and this ball game is over. The Governors bounce back off of their first and only loss of the season so far from a week ago, as they will defeat the Huron Tigers by the score of 35-0. That's your final score on the Gales Gas Service scoreboard, sponsored by Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Now that it's getting colder, remember to use their budget plan and keep full service to stay warm all season long with Gales Gas Service in Pierre. Full post-game coming up. Our post-game show brought to you by Family Dental in Pierre and Gettysburg. Before we do that, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football.
Highway Safety, River 92.7, KGFX FM, and K296FI Pierre. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Pierre Governor Football, your official voice to the Governors, River 92.7 and DRGnews.com. as they defeat the Huron Tigers 35-0. Before we go to break, some final comments here from our expert in analysis, Coach Sean Lewis. And Coach, this is a good game for the Governors to kind of bounce back. I used the term bullied last week, and I think you could say that's kind of how they got treated by the Brandon Valley Lynx. But a game that is kind of a slap upside the head. You get refocused coming back to play the rest of the 11 AA schedule, and the first time back out there turned into a pretty good ball game for the Governors.
Yeah, you know, we came out still, you know, not exactly firing on all cylinders, but, you know, ultimately they righted the ship and, you know, still were putting points on the board, making a few mistakes, but then tightened it up, you know, weren't letting Huron in. And, you know, it's what you wanted to see kind of after last week is you did get hit in the mouth, but ultimately it's how do you respond to that. You know, they were big. Brandon Valley was big. You didn't see any kids, you know, crying or pouting around after the game. I mean, you kind of saw that somber of, hey, we just got our butts kicked, and so we're going to take that and we're going to move forward. And, you know, it was just kind of that business-like approach. It just seemed like all game long, even when the penalties were happening, you didn't see any sort of chaos or craziness. You just saw them get right back in the huddle and, I mean, do what it is that we know that this Governor team can do.
Well, they got out physical last week, and tonight, I mean, even though you had a few roughness penalties, I don't think it was in disrespect or, you know, poor play, you know, poor style of play or anything like that. It just, you know, competitive plays that you're getting flagged for. You come back on that, but maybe that's the case where the Govs come out here and are out physicaling their opponent once again, which is basically what they've been able to do for most of the season.
Yeah, that's probably why last week was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, is just simply because, you know, that's the style of football that we typically play. You know, with this group and the seniors, is they've come out and just kind of out physicaled everybody. Like you've said, they've broken tackles, they've made tackles, they're going to hit you in the mouth, and so to have that kind of, you know, return your style of play right back on you was a little bit disheartening, but a good showing yet tonight to be able to bounce back from that.
And now you're looking ahead to really the big rivalry. A lot of people always look forward to the Governors and the T-Area Titans, the next opponent. And, you know, T-Area got the offense going against Spearfish here tonight. Obviously, in their field for the first time ever, I think. We didn't get the game in the COVID year in T, so
that is correct.
This might be the first time the Govs ever actually get to go play there, but all eyes are going to be on that one, and the Govs have to come ready to play.
Yeah, I think that is a completely correct statement. I'm not sure that we've ever played there, but ultimately I'm sure the sideline to sideline and end zone to end zone, it's still the same, and it's a turf field. We've played on those, but yeah, I mean, it's been a good rivalry over the years with T and just kind of the style of play that they run. You know, obviously they're not the T team from the last 2 years that, you know, we've played in the Dome. They've graduated a bunch of those kids, and they don't kind of have that big physical line. They're still going to be good. They're still going to run the same style of play with their running backs and, you know, eventually try to hit you with a pass. So it'll be a kind of total opposite that we saw tonight, whereas this was more of an air raid. They're going to be a ground game, and I think everybody in town and in the state knows that they're going to be a ground game.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us here tonight. We'll see you next week in T. We'll let you hand off the microphone. Let's take a 1-minute timeout here. We're going to start our Family Dental postgame. We'll hear from Family Dental with offices in Pierre and in Gettysburg. The Govs defeat Huron tonight 35-0. River 92.7.